So let's go now, and I think it's time we make our first campaign. So let's click on create. And the first thing, probably the most basic one I think we should make, is just a general email. So let's click on email, and we can make a regular email, a plain text email, which I don't really want to do. We can make from a template. We can design our own template as well, and we can make an A/B test. So I'm going to go to regular just to show you guys what we'll be doing here. The internal email name, let's just call this email 1. Actually, let's call this welcome email 1. We'll say begin. Okay, so Mailchimp really lays it all out for you what you're doing here. So who is it going to, who is it from, what's the subject, the send time, when they're going to send it, and what is the content of the email. So starting off with edit recipients, this is where we could say we could send it to everyone in the audience. We could totally do that. That's what I'm going to do right now because it is so pretty straightforward. We could have a new segment as well. So if you only want to send to a certain group, we could add a filter, and we could say this is where we'd filter by tags. This is where I think tags are so popular or so powerful. Even if you don't have multiple audiences, you could have one audience, have a lot of different tags, and you could say, let's only send it to people who have a contact that's tagged, and the tag could be repeat customer. Let's say they have to be a repeat customer, and then that's who this is actually going to, people who have actually bought from us before. So new segment, we are going to review this segment. It says there's one person in our contact list that would do that. Let's apply that segment, and it's going to get sent only to the people who we labeled as repeat customers or who are automatically labeled as repeat customers using an automation. We can also choose who to exclude if there's any tags that we'd want to exclude from there. So if you want to send it to repeat customers, but don't send it to people who have not purchased within the last year, then you could do that. And again, really hyper target a specific group with these email campaigns. I can't stress that enough, how powerful that really is. And I think everyone out there is going to have a different use case for this. We can also send personalize that. So we could have it as like personalize the send to field with their name. We could have first name, last name. Let's save that. Sometimes it doesn't work if people have like a weird name when they sign up, like they use like a business name, then it ends up being like hi Santrel Media. So it's not always going to work out well. But who is it from? We could have it going from the account holder like this, or we can change it and say, I want it to be from a different email. I want it to be from like mike@santrelmedia.com. We could say save. I think we will actually have to verify that because they don't want you to have an unverified domain where it's like you're sending it from like tim@apple.com. Like they don't want that, obviously. That'd be that's fraud, right? So then we have the subject line. We're going to add a subject. This is actually something that there's a preview text right here and a subject. Most people don't realize this, but when you receive an email, the preview text, the little text below the subject might not actually appear anywhere in the email. Most people assume that's actually like the first sentence of the email. It's actually not. You can make whatever you want here. This is going to improve your CTR, your click-through rate. You want to make sure that this is something appealing that people click on. So we could just say, welcome to our list, open for a surprise. Let's just say something like that. And we'll say save. And so that's going to be the subject, again, like the subject, and then below that, the preview text that's going to show up on Gmail or whatever email management they use. Then the send time, we can add a send time and say send it now. We can also optimize it as well. So if you upgrade your plan, they are able to send based on time zones, do batch delivery, and really improve subscriber engagement. I'm just going to have a scheduled time. It doesn't really matter. Or I could say send now. Who cares? For this example, I'm just going to say send now. So we'll save that. And then we have the content down here. So if we click on design email, this is where we have a lot of templates we can build from. And of course, we do have a lot of, in my opinion, a much better interface than the form builder. I really started you guys off with probably the toughest one to design. But now looking at this, let's say we want it to look like maybe this one right here. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I actually really like that one. So we're going to say apply. And now we can customize everything. So this is a drag and drop layout. It's very similar to a lot of website builders out there. And we will be using this format in a couple other places on Mailchimp a little bit later. So let's close out of that. So for this layout, essentially all you would do is click and drag anything from the left side over to the right side. And then if we click on anything on the right side, it'll bring us into this little editor. So I can change the image. I can browse other images that I have uploaded. Right now, I actually don't have any others on here. So you'd want to upload your own images. And let's just say we want to edit this text. You figure it out. You click on it. You can change the background to whatever color you want. You can change like the padding, which is going to be the space above and below. So the padding, if we bring this up to, just for example, like 120 or 200, you'll see big gap above. That's padding. And you can pad it on the left or the right side to just change how far away different things actually are. You can make dynamic content as well. We have to upgrade to do that, so I'm not going to do that in this video. But again, just some other features that you might have that aren't necessarily like required for a good, successful email campaign, but it could be useful for you. Then we can also click and drag any one of these. So code would be if you have like a third-party software you want to put in here, you could just copy and paste the code. We could have a survey and just click and drag these and drop them wherever the little blue bar appears. So let's say I want that, maybe it's a teal bar, right? we'll click and drop that maybe right there. And now they can click on start survey, and it's going to, you can select a survey, and we want this to be, let's say, our welcome survey. It's going to bring them over to the welcome survey. To change the text on anything, you can edit that over on the right side. So we can just highlight this and just type whatever we want. Of course, if we wanted something to be linked out, we can highlight that. We can click on the little chain link icon, and this could link out to an email, a phone, whatever, a survey. We can link to the survey again, and we could say maybe this is the welcome survey. Open a link in a new tab. We'll say save, and so that's just another thing you can add in there. Additionally, the button right here, if you click on button, you can choose where that's actually linking to. And again, this could be a web page. This could be email, so they could just like reply to you, for example. This could say reply. Let's just call this one. And then if we click on the button, we could say reply to Mike. And I think you kind of are getting the idea of what we can do here. You can also add some really advanced stuff, some apps and products as well. So if you wanted to showcase a product that you have maybe on Shopify, you can click and drag that over here, and then you just connect your store and you'll just sign into Shopify, for example. It's really easy to connect that. I don't want to go on too much of a tangent right here, but you can see right there, you can go to like X or WooCommerce or Squarespace, or like I said, Shopify down here. You just click on that. You'll end up signing into your Shopify account here, and everything should port over very easily. All of your products will be able to just be added into the email campaign like I just showed you. But let's go back to where we were. So let's click on back again, and that'll bring us over to this. Now, if we don't like something, let's just click on this and you'll see the trash can on the right side. We can go and delete that. If we want two of something, if we want more of it, we can duplicate that block, and then that might make it easier if you liked the layout of something. Maybe like this is like a great layout. I really like the placement of this button. I could duplicate that and I could put that somewhere else on this. So let's save and exit. And now let's double check everything. It looks like we got the check marks. Everything's all there. We have the link if we wanted to. And then down here, settings and tracking, you're not using Inbox to manage emails or to manage replies. That's totally fine because it's being sent to a different email like I showed you earlier. You are tracking opens. You are tracking clicks. You're not tracking plain text clicks. That's fine, which would just be like that embedded link that I showed you. And you're not tracking e-commerce link activity because we don't have a store attached to this at the moment. So this looks good. Of course, you could track e-commerce activity if you embed a little pixel in your Shopify store, but again, that's another video in the future. So let's say send. It's going to be sent to one subscriber. So just kind of confirming that's everyone that we had in that list that was tagged with repeat customer. Send now, and that should be sent. So that's how you'd send out just a regular blast. This could be great for like a promotion or like a fall sale or anytime you want to send off like a one-time email. That's a great way to do